Hey guys, so I didn't get any audio for this video, so I'm going to have to voice over it in post. I'm kind of unhappy that happened, but anyways, so I have a character here that I'm redesigning for one of my watchers, a good friend of mine named Cyanide Fairy, and she wanted this particular character right here to be more military-esque, so I worked on getting her to be a little more towards the side of military, since I kind of consider military like short hair and stuff like that. That's one of the major things that I wanted to hit on. Anyways, I'm gonna get started now, and let's get started drawing. If future me or past me, stop talking and draw. I think I was like trying to explain everything right here, and why am I taking so long? Anyway, so I'm gonna start the sketch now, apparently. Oh boy. And I was just drawing out the body, because I was going to do these on bases, but I decided that I wanted to practice my like pony anatomy. Excuse me for the awkward silences. I really can't remember what I talked about. I have a pretty bad memory, but as soon as we're done with the sketching of the base, I can start actually talking about the changes that I made to the design. In all honesty, the existing design was not bad. It just didn't work for the purposes that Cyanide was looking for. And that's one of the major things that I like to talk about when it comes to designing characters. Is a lot of people will they'll come up with a design and they won't really think very hard on what they're actually trying to accomplish with the character. So, in this case, Cyanide, I know the character in question was an adopt that she got, so it wasn't, something that she had done, herself. But, there are a lot of people who I see when they're designing, they end up just doing whatever looks cute, and I feel like that's not overly important to a character design. A character design should really reflect what their position is in life, what they like, what they dislike. You really need to think about these things when you're designing. And that's one of the things that I try to pre-bake into my adopts that I make. I kind of try to think a little bit about how this character could be used in a story before selling them, and creating them for people. So in the case here, we've got someone who is supposed to be part of an army, if I remember correctly. And there are a few signifiers that I think work well for an army character, and that I'll get into as we continue this process. I can't believe I lost the audio, guys. It is really beyond me as to how I managed to do that. But that being said, we will attempt to salvage what we have, and maybe the next one, I'll have everything running smoothly. So I think I decided to give her more Rarity-esque eyes, because she, in her bio, said something about being, what's the word I'm looking for? Like an undercover agent kind of thing. She did a lot of spy work, so to speak. So I figured something that's a little like femme fatale almost as far as the eyes go. So I wanted something that's more slender and upwards facing, because that in ponies tends to go with a more attractive character, like say Rarity. But I didn't give her too many eyelashes like Rarity, because once again we're trying to also convey the fact that she is part of a military organization. I think it was an army, to be precise. I know this character is for her main, story, and if I remember correctly, it has something to do with Fallout Equestria. I may be wrong, and Cyanide will will let me know if I am, in fact, incorrect. So the next thing I did is I was toying around with the hair, trying to find a cute short hairstyle, and I get asked a lot about how I draw hair, and honestly, I kind of just draw lines until I think it looks decent. But that being said, there is still a little bit of a method to my madness. So the first thing that I always focus on is the bangs, because there are quite a few different ways you can style your bangs, and in this case I went with something that's kind of swept over the side, making her look a little bit more like the standard Rainbow Dash kind of bangs, because she's supposed to be military intelligence. So I wanted something that was almost normal, but also I needed to give her character. As I said earlier, it's really important that you kind of think about what your character is and who they are while you're working on them. So I also did this kind of whoop-de-doo in the back, where, the main part of the mane is, horses have really weird hair because it goes right down the center of the head and neck. But that being said, ponies don't always. So in this case, we're going with kind of a hybrid. I was gonna give her a piece on the other side, but I decided against it as it made her hair look a little too long, and I wanted to keep short. The next thing I did is the tail, and to balance out the mane, I actually decided to keep the long tail, because I feel like long tails look good with short manes, and vice versa. I've always liked the dichotomy between the two. And especially in this case, she's trying to fit in as, military intelligence, which means you need to kind of look standard, so to speak. Sticking out if you're a military person who's doing spy work, not a good idea. And I really wish I could think of the actual correct word, but I suck, and I'm really bad at remembering words when I need them. I have a horrible memory, I swear to God. Anyways, that beside, I finished up the mane and tail, and then the next thing I think I was trying to explain about the mane, how it's short, but it still gives personality to the character. And then the other thing that I was going to do is I was going to start doing accessories, if I remember correctly. Are you going to draw accessories past me? Yes, you are. Okay, so what I was going to do was dog tags, because of course that's the first thing that pops into my head when I think military. It's dog tags. I think pretty much everybody thinks that. And I know I wanted to keep her accessories on the small side. I didn't want to give her too many accessories because my friend's size tends towards more MLP style characters rather than more cluttered, I guess, designs like I prefer. I also realized that I had forgotten her wings, so I had to draw that into place as well. And I also added some earrings, and honestly the reason why I did that is because I personally really freaking love ponies with piercings. That is the only reason why I added them. I don't even know. It's just you've got so much space there to add piercings. Why not? And I love piercings. I personally don't have very many, but on characters, they look bomb. Just like freaking stellar. Perfect. Anyways, I'm just cleaning up some stuff. And I think after I end up adding the earrings, which will be in a few minutes, after I fiddle with the muzzle, of course. What are you doing past me? Stop. I know I had more to talk about. Why? This is something I do a lot. I fiddle with my anatomy and like change really small things that may or may not actually mean anything, but to me, it has to be changed. Oh my god, if I don't change it, I just like lose my mind. Anyways, so earrings, are we gonna get to that? Past me, please. Please, for the love of God, just do the earrings and we can move on to lining shit. I am running out of things to talk about on this sketch. Fucking hell. Okay, there we go. Earrings. I added earrings. Lovely earrings. I just really love the look of ponies with earrings. I know it's not very common in canon. So I believe that the sketch is all finished. So the next thing we're going to move on to is the line work. And I'm going to let that play through on a speed paint because I have nothing to talk about there. I didn't in the other take of this either. I didn't really talk about what I was doing. I just lined it. So on to the speed paint as soon as I'm done fiddling with little tiny details that are not important. God damn it, move on. And there we go. And into the speed paint now. Alright, now that all of that is done, it's time to start with the coloring. And, of course, I lost the audio here too, so that's what I'm going to be doing right now, is to redo the audio again. So, I was talking about how the colors on her already are really spot on, and I already pretty much love them. Didn't want to change much. I was talking about maybe lightening part of the mane, and I did a little bit, but not very much. I really think that in general, this particular character's colors are spot on. And of course, I do coloring a little bit differently than some people. I end up putting a layer down with a solid color and then putting clipping groups on top of all of that with the different colors. And that just simply allows me to deal with the really like thin lines. Like they're not very opaque. They're kind of translucent, kind of see-through. So to do to deal with that, I do the layer behind everything so that no white shows through. And the other thing I have to do in order to deal with that is I select everything and then I expand that selection by 3 pixels, which allows me to cover the entire line. And I missed a part of the line art. Ha! Good job, Past Me. You freaking... Why? Why did you do that? Sorry. I feel like I'm very antagonistic to myself. I'm just like, how dare you? So anyways, I'm going to do the body color basically the exact same as it already was, because it was a very nice body color. Not gonna lie. And of course, I also have to fill in the areas that I forgot to select and or didn't get fully selected in the process. It's usually in like the really pointed areas where that happens. So it's just something that I have to do when I'm doing art like this. So like I said, great body color. I like the fact that it's not too bright and it isn't white or black. I don't know what it is with My Little Pony characters, but so many of them are white or black, and I am a person who does this too. I'm not above this. I am guilty of doing it, and I think it's mostly just due to the fact that those colors are very neutral and they're easy to deal with in tangent to other colors. So had to clean up some of my color work here. I sound stupider than I am. I swear I do. I am so bad at talking, and I really want to just like kind of be the bubbly, happy person that is able to talk with you guys and just be like, "Hey guys, how's things going?" And my words, I just trip all over them like a boss. That is an old meme. Do not crucify me. I am who I am. Just, that's it. I am who I am. So anyways, like I said, I kind of lightened part of her hair, and right now I'm kind of trying to select it all so I can color it in. I think mainly the one that I lighten the most is the highlight color and not the main color, because once again, I don't have anything to complain about with these colors, man. Whoever designed this adopt was spot on as far as the color department goes. They know what they were doing. They had a lighter mane, a darker body, which is something that, if you can't tell, I really like. I love the contrast. So I also like dark bodies, light manes, or light bodies and dark manes. I feel like the contrast kind of solidifies the design, so to speak. Anyways, so working on filling all of that in, and the next one I'm going to be doing will probably have a lot of color corrections. Unfortunately, color is the biggest thing that can make or break your design. And I don't think enough people talk about that. I hear a lot of people say, oh, you shouldn't use bright colors, but they don't talk about actual color theory and how colors affect the brain and how colors can be utilized to give off a certain vibe. So, for example, with this character, she has a lot of purples and blues to her design, which makes her come off as slightly cooler, colder, more even-tempered. I can't really imagine this character being the type that goes off on a tangent. Like, not a very fiery personality. I may be wrong, because I don't know exactly what her personality is in Cyanide's story. But my personal opinion, because of the color choices, that's how I would view this character. So as you can see, I'm going over and adding the highlights. Now, the highlights in the original one were really, really thin, and I'm not a big fan of thin highlights. I really like my secondary colors to be almost the same amount as the primary color. I prefer streaks over highlights, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And in this case, I also lightened the highlight or the streak color because the color was really close to the other color and I felt like they didn't pop as much. Once again, it's all about the contrast, and I wanted to have a bigger contrast between the two colors in the main because I feel like that makes it a bit more interesting to look at. One thing I can say about this design's colors is they are very, very washed out, which is fine because she's going to be going into Equestria. What is it? Freaking Fallout Equestria. There we go. She's going into Fallout Equestria, so I feel like the dulled colors makes a lot of sense for that particular world. But usually for My Little Pony character, I would keep the colors bright and fun because of the world that they're in. Once again, colors are where you need to focus, because colors are where it's going to be the most important to get across, like, the character. A lot of it is what their accessories are can also help, but a lot of it, especially when you're dealing with animals like ponies, is going to be conveyed, can I speak? Conveyed through color. Oh my, I need to learn how to speak. I really do, guys. That tangent aside. So I was doing the eye color here, and I was going to go with the same color that is on the original character, which is this purple color that you see here. But I kind of felt like the eyes should really stand out, because right now they kind of blend in with everything, and the eyes are really important because the eyes are how people are going to read the emotions. So you kind of want to draw the art, the person looking at your art, you want to draw their attention to the eyes one way or another. And one of the best ways to do that is by picking a contrasting color. So that's kind of what I was playing around with here, I think. Oh no, I did the dog tags and then I went back and changed the eye color because I felt like the eyes weren't obvious enough. You didn't really get drawn to the eyes. They kind of just blended in with the rest of the design. And like I said, it's fine. It's not gonna hurt anything, but just giving it that little pop of a color that contrasts with the rest really kind of brings the design up a notch and just kind of makes it more, it makes it easier to convey emotion, especially if you're going to be drawing the character a lot. I feel like it's not as important if you are a writer and are getting designs done, but if you're someone like me who's an artist, you're gonna want to bring attention to those eyes. Then of course, as you can see, I picked a yellow because yellow is almost exactly across on the color spectrum. It's a little slightly off the main color of the character, but it is in the other, like, warm. It's a warm tone, whereas the rest of her is very cold. So I feel like it draws the eyes to her eyes a little bit better. And I think the rest of it is just me coloring in her accessories, which are earrings. And I went with silver, mainly because it's pretty standard, you know, a silvery color. You get a lot of, you know, metal colored earrings and stuff. And I didn't want to add too much brightness to her design because, like I said, Fallout Equestria, kind of bleak. Wanted to keep that there because the character already had it, but I also wanted to add a little pop of color, which is why the eyes are now yellow. And then of course I'm going to add in the shine on the earrings so you know it's metal. It's just kind of an easy way to do it, just 2 lines. I mean, that's literally the easiest way you can show shiny metal. And I think we're just about done. So I am going to just allow future me to finish, or past me. Why do I keep saying future? Jesus. I'm horrible. I'm gonna let past me finish this up, and I'm just gonna do a quick outro. If you liked the video, thank you for watching. I really thank you guys for watching. I know I don't have very many people who are active watchers, but it's really, really good to me to have people actually watching my content, because I am a mess most of the time and I can't believe people actually want to watch me. So that being said, I think I'm just going to finish up doing the shading work and then I am going to go. So I'm just going to sign out now. See you guys later. Bye!